So since we talked about The Grudge, we talked about a movie that was produced by Sam Raimi. Let's talk about a movie that was actually directed by Sam Raimi.
Let's
And this
go.
is Drag Me to Hell.
All right.
2008 or 2009, actually, this is much closer, is directed by Sam Raimi. It was a movie that, I mean, for a long time he was working on the Spider-Man trilogy. He was producing movies. I mean, Sam Raimi, when he announces, hey, I'm coming back to horror,
Mm.
who doesn't get freaked out and excited by that, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yes,
this dude started the Evil Dead franchise, pretty much revolutionized, that type of film.
I agree.
And now he's coming back to Drag Me to Hell. It's about this woman, this character who has been cursed by this gypsy woman,
Mhm.
because she denied her bank loan, and
Mhm.
the gypsy woman just comes at her. She, like Daniel said, sucked on her chin,
Yes.
and completely put a curse on her, saying, you're going to be tormented by a demon, and you're going to be dragged to hell. And the woman has to find these mystics to
Mhm.
prevent it. And I really enjoyed the movie a lot, honestly.
So I
What about you,
really,
Daniel?
yeah, I loved it. I loved the movie. I thought it was great. And again, when I'm watching a horror film, I'm not going in there for like 10 Academy Awards and
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm going for horror. I want to strap my that's the kind of ride roller coaster I'm going for. Drag Me to Hell is the fundamental of what I just said, of
yeah.
what horror is when you take horror as a roller coaster. So like Hereditary isn't that. You know what
No,
I'm
it's
saying?
not. No, it's not.
The Grudge is not that. And even, you know, I don't know. I guess Jason is a little bit more on that end, but really, like a horror roller coaster
Yeah,
is Drag Me to Hell, you know. And so the way that I would say it, and some may say this is a bad thing, and they may describe it the same exact way and mean it as a bad thing, but for me I don't, because again, like I said, when I strap in and I watch a horror film, this is what I'm trying to do. But I feel like it's a long Saturday morning cartoon about horror.
yeah.
That's what I felt like I was watching when I watched Drag Me to Hell. Wasn't this like Hereditary where I'm sitting there like like I'm not sitting there like that. I'm like having a good time. I'm not really scared, but I'm enjoying seeing the characters be scared. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I
So,
mean, it's definitely the Saturday more. If Evil Dead was the cat, like the haunted house, like during Halloween, this is definitely the carnival, if you will. You
yes,
know,
yes,
I
yes.
mean, like there's a moment where a talking goat shows up, and it's like the
That
funniest
part
part of
though.
the movie. You know, she's like being thrown up on all the time. The main
Constantly.
character, like
Uh,
constantly, yeah,
yeah, yeah. But
dude.
that's Sam Raimi, right? That's Sam Raimi.
Yeah,
Vomit, gore. It has to be in there, and in a cartoony way,
yeah. In
So
in tonal ways, it's very close to a mixture of Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. I mean, if
yes,
anything, you
yes,
know.
I agree. I agree. And similar, he's being dragged to hell, like something is dragging them to hell. And
Yeah,
and yeah, I don't know. I had a really good time with Drag Me to Hell. The thing is, again, it not that it's I don't want to say it's not elevated, but and it's not predictable in a bad way. It's predictable in that it gives you what you want. It's predictable in that it's like very Saturday morning cartoony. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Like again, spoiler alert, but when we're watching that movie and then she because okay, again, spoiler, but how you defeat this lamia, there's several ways. Maybe sacrificing an animal, which she tries, it doesn't work. And then also just putting it into another being and then killing that being. So they try to put it in talking goat, but they miss their chance and they don't get it. The last way to try and kind of get it away from you is to
Give it
gift
to someone else.
give it to someone
Yeah,
else, right? And give the thing that the gypsy cursed or whoever cursed and gave back to you. So like, let's say I curse your glasses and I give it back to you. That's what the lamia is. That's why they're attached to you. So the last ditch effort is to get the button that the gypsy lady cursed and give it back to her dead body, right? But on the way there, she drops the envelope that's holding the button in and it falls with a bunch of envelopes. Right there, you know that the end credit scene or the last scene, you know there's gonna like, oh my god, no, and when
Yeah.
she has the coat, I'm like, when is he gonna someone's gonna give it back? His mom, his mom has it, he has it, the boyfriend has it, he's gonna give it back to her right now, she has it, you know what I mean? But she's still technically in possession of. She didn't give it to anybody, you know. So when she thinks she gives that envelope and puts it in the dead body, in the woman's cadaver, the gypsy's dead body, I already knew, man, all that work, and I already knew, like, dang, the dude has it, or she has it, or something. And then at the end, sure enough, she gets the coat, and she's like, wait, why'd you throw away that coat? I found the button for it. And it's like, oh my god. And then he, who didn't believe the entire time, sees her being dragged to hell, like she said
Yeah.
the entire time was gonna happen. And so,
Insane.
yeah, insane. So, and it's great, you know. And it didn't, I wasn't mind blown, but it's what I put on the movie for,
No,
right?
but it's a scene, that a moment, you know, that will get the theater like, oh
Yeah,
shit, like that
yeah,
type of moment, you know, like,
yeah.
oh no, you messed up.
It happened.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, and again, like I said, like I knew it happened, but when it happened, it's that payoff. Like it happened. The thing I knew, you know what I mean? Like, and you want the hero to succeed, but it's not all. You know, you're kind of like not satisfied. It's crazy. This is an older movie, but and it's not this elevated, you know, crazy, uneasy. I'm terrified, biting my blanket, you know, my nails and my blanket.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. It's not like that. But I still left unsatisfied. I still left like so close, you know. And you wanted your hero to succeed, but it's not. The director, you know, went with the not happy ending, which made it better. I think a movie that's cartoony like that, if you would have ended with a happy ending, it just would have.
Yeah, there's no way.
There would have been nothing
Yeah.
to it. You know what I'm saying?
You can't call it Drag Me to Hell at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying there. We want it. We want the title. We want it. We want that.
We want
So, and we may not know we want it. I didn't know I wanted it when I'm watching it, but when it happened, you're like, yes.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there are a lot of theories amongst Evil Dead fans that this was loosely connected to that world, the Evil Dead world, just because of the ridiculousness of, you know, the horror and kind of some of the mystical themes to it. Did you ever think that, like, while watching, this could be attached to that world?
Easily. How not? You don't even. You know, it's one of those things where you don't even have to explain. You can just say that,
Yeah.
and then it makes sense. It would make sense that the Necronomicon exists in the same universe as Drag Me to Hell, similar to like Conjuring and Annabelle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like doing that. You know me. I always unofficially connect movies. You know what I mean? Like what did I say? Oh yeah, Outlaw King is the sequel to Braveheart. Soldier is the unofficial prequel to Blade Runner for me. So,
Oh yeah.
So it's like I like doing that, but yeah, definitely. So because I already like doing that, I knew it was Sam Raimi. It's stamped all over every scene. Obviously, it's like
Yeah.
Sam Raimi. So when you're watching Drag Me to Hell, how can you not think Evil Dead? Especially stylistically, the way that the horror is executed, or the gore is executed, and the nastiness, and you know what I mean, like that kind of like shock, like, oh my god, there's an eyeball in her mouth, or there's the whole arm is in her throat, but where does the arm go? Like the arm can't go anywhere. But it's very Ash versus Evil Dead, very and you can very much say that that's like in another time period or in another city, but that the same universe exists.
Yeah. Justin Long could have easily been that character in like an Ash versus Evil Dead episode.
Oh yeah. Easily, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And especially with those seasons. I've only seen season 1, and is there a season 3 to that?
Yeah, I believe there are 3 seasons available on I don't actually know where they're available. They might be on HBO Max. They used to be on Netflix.
They used to be on Netflix. Okay, because that's where I saw season 1 and season 2, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I like those better than The Grudge, or better than even
Yeah,
Drag Me to Hell. I like the seasons of Ash versus Evil Dead, but that's not fair. Ash is obviously top
Ash
tier
is Ash.
character. Yeah, yeah, right.
Ash.
So
I
so
mean,
that
movies like Evil Dead and Drag Me to Hell, the thing that I feel like stands out to them, and they don't have to live up to any like level, like any, you know, because there's, you know, you look at a movie like Drag Me to Hell, it's like, oh, that's lowbrow horror. It's like, no, this is what it is. It's a cartoon, and it has personality. You know,
right,
that's one of the most important
right,
things about it is that it has a voice. It's made by Sam Raimi, you know, and it doesn't have to be this whole, you know, something like what the Grudge I think was trying to be, which is this cerebral type. We're trying to be smarter than we actually are, you know.
correct, correct. Yeah, and that's where sometimes. I mean, I appreciate the attempt, right? You know,
Right.
that's what sucks is like you try and be cerebral because you're not trying to do the cheap jump scares and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. It's just when you miss in that direction, you
You
really
really miss.
you really miss because there's nothing else to lean on. That
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like I appreciate the attempt because it's ballsy. You're really going and leaning on atmosphere on and that's created by what? You're putting all the pressure on your screenwriter, on the actors, you know what I mean? And so when you miss, there's nothing there. If Sam Raimi, that's what I'm trying to say is Drag Me to Hell, like you said, okay, some people may describe it as lowbrow, but that's what you strap in for the ride for, right? You're going in there and you're kind of seeing that. And if it misses, it's still funny or it's still
yeah, it's funny.
like visual or
Mhm.
something is there where it can lean on that, even if something the cerebral part of it isn't there. There's still something there that will for you that you will like. But yeah, you know, again, I mean, yes, he produced it, but if you go with something like The Grudge, you know, if you're going in this, you're trying to be this elevated kind of atmospheric type tone type of horror movie, and you miss the mark, what are you leaning on? The
Mhm.
crazy gore scene? No, that wasn't there. The crazy kill death? No, that wasn't there. You know what I mean? So what are you going for? You were setting up throughout the whole movie. You were trying to set up these like jump scares or these little moments, and then if they don't pay off, then you're screwed. That's why
Absolutely.
you know that's why Hereditary kind of really worked because the payoff was good, but it wasn't too much where it became cartoony. I mean, it was a little much, I guess, but it didn't make it cartoony because the whole film wasn't that way. It was very you
It
know,
was subtle for
it
sure.
was subtly
Yeah.
unexpected.
Hmm.
So you know something's going on, but like okay, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Hereditary, you know, stop this, but when the daughter, when the girl is driving and then she gets decapitated,
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect that because of how they're setting up the little girl. So they're setting up the little girl as this creepy kind of what do they call
Yeah.
those stories? Like that character, like she's gonna be something later, like a point. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're the whole time you're like, oh man, I'm watching out for you. Like you're either gonna get possessed, you're gonna start killing people, or something's gonna happen. You're gonna play with a Ouija board. Some crap is gonna happen. Next scene, decapitated little girl. Oh, well, you're just driving, and you're like, wait, what? So then, yeah, so then you're thinking like, wait. So now you don't know. Now you're uneasy because you don't know. You see that the director's willing to kill anyone in the film. So it kind of puts you at an uneasy type of feeling. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
felt that with this film. I mean, this film, even though it's more, you know, out there and it's more in your face, I still feel that that feeling was achieved pretty well because it didn't have any stipulations about what it was, you know, it was just what it was.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was gonna say that the moments that I get that in something like Drag Me to Hell are the moments where she's going to dinner with her boyfriend, she's meeting the parents.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of that. It's not uneasy as in terms of like uneasy, like who's getting possessed. It's more of like uneasy, like, man, this girl has to continue living her life within these 3 days that she's gonna die. So she has to continue living her life while being tormented by this demon. So they take her through these moments, right? Like work, trying to get a promotion, this demon's there, you know, and then that happens, and then dinner with parents, demon is there. So you're uneasy, like, what is this demon gonna do? You know there's gonna kick in right at the right time when she needs it not to kick in. How is it gonna kick in? And then it's the Sam Raimi way, you know, it has some
The
sort
best
of
way.
the best way, right? And yeah, you
Little
can tell it's
eyeball
somebody
out of the
that,
cake.
oh my goodness, it's just, and then she stabs it, you know, and then
Yeah.
Christian Long or whatever is looking at her like trying to eat, like nothing's happening. But yeah, it's a good movie. I thought it was great. You can tell that the director just made a movie. He had fun. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
and it's always cool to see, like, whoever was, they had fun making this movie. It seems like, you know.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the most heartening things about the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you not have fun making a movie like that? Especially like with the lead getting thrown up on and blood all over her. Like she's having a great time at during that point, you know?
Yeah, and you know, one thing I did notice is that they don't. I right away. I mean, obviously, this, I'm not enlightened or much. You know, I'm not a you know,
An intellectual.
yeah, an intellectual by thinking this. You know, but right when that lady was like asking for an extension on her bank loan or whatever for her house, I was like, dude, like I already not only didn't feel bad for her, but I was like, dude, you're the bad guy. Like, you're not. Don't pin this on her, on this one decision of this girl. You know what I mean? And so that the lady was so mad, and then was like, she decided to beg. She decided, no one asked her to beg. She decides to get on her knees in front of all those people. I don't know. It just,
Hacker.
yeah, at her and attack her, and then like she's the villain and you curse her. So finally, the whole movie, they kind of subtly are like, you're kind of an ass, like you didn't give her the bank loan. But I was like, finally at the end of the movie when she's like, who deserves this? And I was thinking Stu, the guy that screwed her promotion.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, that guy deserves the gift, the button, come on, let's go, you know. But even him, she was like, no, you have a dad and you're just trying to get ahead, you're just a dick, but like you don't
You don't deserve to die.
you don't deserve this to get to burn in hell for eternity. And then finally it clicks. Who does? That lady. Like, what the heck? It just seems like that when people beg like that, it just seems like, for me, it seems similar to when people ask girls, like dudes ask girls out at prom in front of a bunch of people, or they ask for marriage in front of a bunch of people. And it's like, what are you doing? I mean, if they've talked about it, you know, cool. Like if you have a conversation like, oh, hey, you know, I'm thinking about,
if it was headed that direction,
yeah. It's kind of like, okay, you know, obviously I don't know everybody's relationship. Maybe they had talks and then these things happen. Like, oh, I'm planning this thing and it's happened. Okay, cool. You know, sweet, great. And I get it. People want to do a surprise, and you could surprise all day. But when you're putting someone on the spot like that, like you're giving them first off, number one, I would think, just on myself, screw the situation that I'm awkwardly putting someone in. I would just think on myself, like, did they really say yes because of me, or did they say yes because of the position I put them in? You know what I mean?
right?
It just seems kind of weird. And so right away, like, I don't know, it just seems weird. It seems weird. Like you expect a yes, like, you better not embarrass me in front of all these people. Like, I did this, so what are you going to say now? And it's like, well, I'm going to say no, because I don't have to say yes just because you put me in no, you put yourself in this position. You didn't put me in this position. You put yourself in this position. So now I can say yes or no accordingly, and you're exposed. Don't make it seem like I'm the one making it. And right away, I got so mad at that lady when she was like, I'm begging you, please. And I was like, dude, get up. And then she was like, you shame me? And I'm like, she did not shame you. You shamed yourself. Like, what? And so the whole movie, I'm thinking like, burn her body, or like get her somewhere, you know? And then they finally at the end, she's like, I'm going to get some and I'm going to get her back. And I was like, yes, but you dropped the envelope.
You know, that's something that I've been thinking about the more horror films that I've been watching in the recent past, where like you see a lot of like the monster, if you will. The monster will represent like punishment towards the main character because they've made a bad mistake, like they've done something wrong in the past. And so a lot of times the punishment does not warrant like like what this woman did, like hexing this woman, right?
Right,
Like
right, right.
this woman is a bank teller. She's trying to get ahead. She may it's questionable, but does she really deserve to go that way,
Right.
right?
No,
And then I'm thinking I want more characters in horror films to really call out, the monster or the punishment that they're getting, because it's excessive, right? Of course,
right.
like horror films, they're meant to teach us lessons about like how we treat each other and how
Mhm,
like what can happen if
mhm,
we're actually spiteful towards each other. But I just want that one movie where it's the character who's like, man, you are so full of shit.
mhm,
You're just
mhm.
full of it. You're not, this isn't real. Like, you're done.
Yeah, and that's what. Yeah, someone that's a little more and you get that in this movie. She
You do.
she does that in the end, right? When she's like finally like, no, she was wrong. I didn't deserve this, because the whole time she's thinking like maybe I should have given it to her, and whatever, and maybe it was my fault. Like, dude, no, 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 no. And yeah, I mean, we do get sometimes those characters, but they make them so obnoxious where they're just like, "Oh yeah, f you, ghosts," and then they'll die when they get torn up.
Like in
But
a VHS, have you seen that?
no, no, which one?
Oh, the movie called VHS.
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
There's
yes,
there are the bros in that.
yes, yes,
Hey, bro, I
exactly.
feel too much of a pussy to fuck. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
get out of
And
here.
I guess I come off like that when I'm saying like take a gun on ghost adventures, but like,
Just
first off, I
just
don't.
take an M16,
Yeah,
bro.
what's your problem, bro? Why aren't you armed with a grenade? But and I'm not saying that you will be effective, but it's just crazy not to take that. I don't
Not
know,
to stand up.
not to stand up or
Yeah.
not to like, yeah, exactly, you're dying here. And so yeah, a lot of times in movies, yeah, we'll get that at the end, but where's the character that's proactive like right away? That's like,
Yeah.
dude, what the heck? I'm being haunted and like and
Yeah.
this is no joke and
What I have to do.
and what do I have to do? And this is dumb. I'm coming after you now, Ghost. You know what I mean?
This is
And
gonna be
not like I'm coming after you, like I'm hunting you, but like let's solve this.
let's
Let's
figure this out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right, right.
That's I'll be real quick, but that reminds me of my complaint in BVS and Batman vs Superman. Like,
Mm.
Superman's getting all this shit from the public. It's like, you did this to Metropolis, you fucked up. And it's like, and why didn't he say, hey, it was an alien invasion, I was doing my best,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
saving the city.
Yeah, just come out and say. I mean, again, if you're Superman, the
He
fact
could
that
have done better, I agree, but the fact that he didn't say anything at all, like, who's gonna do it? You want to do it? You want to try this next time?
that's what's so crazy is like don't that's why Superman is Superman. What you just said. That's why Superman's Superman. Anyone can have those powers, but no one would act as Superman if they had those powers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
you can't be upset. I mean, that's Superman and you're not Superman. So obviously he understands something
Compared to
that
what would have happened to the
right,
world, right? Like, they were going to terraform the planet
right.
unless he did what he could.
Right, 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 right. No, I would have no issue with Superman doing his thing. If I was Superman, I wouldn't even explain myself at all. I'd be like, well, I'm the ruler of Earth now, and I'm defending my land from.
You'd be Ultraman.
Is that what he does? Does he rule? Oh,
Ultraman
yes,
is
that's right.
the
Yes,
doppelganger.
yeah, it's the doppelganger. Yes, yes.
Crime syndicate.
Yeah, the crime scene. That's right. Let's go. But yeah, I'd do something like that. Like let's Superman Prime it, where he sets up like, okay, everything's good. There's Superman everywhere. Everything's safe. It's peace on Earth, and like let's calm down because I have heat vision.
Yeah,
And
calm down because I can
calm
hear.
down. Yeah, exactly. Like all villains stop crime or face Superman. You know what I mean?
Okay, so we'll get through this movie question very quickly.
Let's go.
Can we get the horror cartoon comedy back, or are we too past it?
The horror cartoon comedy?
Yes, because I would definitely classify this as the bonanza horror movie. The one that's really like bloody and gory and fun and funny. Are we past that in terms of horror, or can we get back there?
I don't think. I mean, styles make movies.
Mhm.
Like they say, styles makes fights. It really depends on who's making the freaking movie, and I wouldn't say that type of horror is gone because if we look at Ash versus Evil Dead, I mean that's pretty recent, and there's lots of content there. It's not just one movie. It's lots of episodes and seasons upon seasons, and that shows that people are still into that and they still like it. They still like, the cartoony type of horror as well. And we still get those really fun. I like them. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying these, but like the Happy Death Day and the baby.
Oh yeah,
those are silly. And yeah, they're dumb. It feels like you watched the movie in 5 minutes. It feels like really fast, and you get what you want. You get some blood, some death, some stupidness and silliness and whatever. So no, I don't think it's. I think it depends on whoever's making it, but no, I don't think it's gone from the desire of the fan base. I don't like if people put that out, that people be like, what? That's old, or that's not good enough. I don't think it would be anything like that.
Well, do you think it says something that, like Ash versus Evil Dead, that's a good example. Do you think that it says something that we got a series rather than another Evil Dead film? And even the most recent Evil Dead film we got was more in line of what horror is nowadays, where it's much more dark, much gory, in the way that Evil Dead isn't,
Yes, I agree, but I still really love the remake. I mean, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, just Evil Dead in general is one of my favorite movies of horror movies of all time. I mean, it's for horror for me. It's like I love Jason movies just because I love them. Mm-hmm. Candyman was my scariest movie. I really love Hereditary and Conjuring. But yeah, these are it. These Evil Dead, man. That is it. The original Evil Dead. Not Evil Dead 2, I mean, which is also fantastic, but Evil Dead, the first one, that one, and the remake of it. Yeah. Those ones, for me, I mean, whoa, that's it. I love those. Those are my favorite. I'm about those.
Yeah. I agree, and I think we need to get more into because we've had like the remakes of the horror movies, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the direction they went with these remakes was the darker direction, the more realistic in tone. And I hope didn't work for people. Obviously, they're kind of failures. I hope that we go more in the direction of what Ash vs. Evil Dead did really well, which was having a great time while watching a horror movie. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna bring back Robert Englund, bring him back to give us a great time with like a Freddy movie,
Right.
And so, no, go ahead.
Well, so I was gonna say is what's really cool about horror, about a lot of the movies that we're just talking about, is that they're still horror, but they don't seem so heavy. So like for example, let's say it's 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm kind of had an exhausted day. Not always, obviously, there's exceptions to the rule, and I don't necessarily care. I'm just setting a hypothetical, to set an example. But like, you're tired, it's 10 o'clock. Are you gonna watch, Drag Me to Hell, or are you gonna watch Hereditary? And do you want to sit there at nighttime and be like all like in it with Hereditary and pay attention to the subtle nuances of how someone blinked or whatever, or do you want to just put on The Babysitter or Happy Death Day or something, and kind of just eat dinner and watch something where it's like, it's still a horror movie, but it's kind of like that. I don't know. There's something to be said for that. And yeah, like you said, sometimes I guess I didn't like this movie, but The Babadook, they're still trying to have the monster, but now be more layered and have more depth to these horror movies rather than the cartoony and the slasher film from like something like Jason or Tucker versus Evil or something. Tucker versus Evil, something like that. Those are cool,
Okay, I agree, and I just hope we get more of what Drag Me to Hell offered, because I thought it was really special.
It is. Special. I love it.
The GOAT Podcast is proof you don't have to look any further for movie news, reviews, trailer reactions, or special discussions. Subscribe, get notified about what's going on, and I promise you'll be entertained by our daily content on YouTube. If you want more, we're on Twitter at GOAT Film Podcast, Instagram The GOAT Podcast, and the GOAT Movie Group on Facebook. Get connected with us, see what's happening, and make sure to love it while you're doing so.